Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Foothill Paint and Fabrication. Today we will be filling a patch panel that we did on a previous video. It was only supposed to be the passenger side getting a patch panel, but I started working on the driver's side, and the more I messed with it, the bigger the piece got. So we have some work to do over there as well, not as much. So let's jump to it and get these ground up and get them ready for some body filler. All right, let's take a look at what we're going to working on here. This is the patch panel we put on the passenger side. Let's move over and take a look at what we did on the other side. Okay, so I had to replace this piece right here. There's a little seam right there. We came down just inside this lip and then over and then back up. So I got a little fill-in to do here to sweeten that up. Not a lot, and then the rest is covered by the fender, so it shouldn't be that big a deal. The other side is going to be a lot more work. Okay, I'll be removing the paint with this, my just little sander, my Ingersoll Rand. It's got 24 grit disc on. It's pretty aggressive, but I want to bring this, the paint back all the way to here, and we'll take it close to this edge. I don't want to dig with 24 grit obviously on this nice clean edge here. So we're going to pull back here and come around and then get it all really well. And then we're ready to mix up some body filler. Okay, we got it roughed out pretty good. There's a drain hole right here, and when I was prying on all this, this hole got a little distorted, so I got to pull down on that a little bit just to flatten that out. Not that you're ever going to see it, but I want it right. So I'll probably get the slide hammer with a hook on it real quick and just hook it in there if I've got enough room down here to pull, and we'll just try to pull that back down. So this is a homemade hook I made for it. It's just a nut that threads on, and then I think this was a grade 5 bolt, grade 8 bolt that I welded on, and I bent the corner over. Let's reach back in here a little bit. Won't take much. Feels pretty good. I'm going to grab the hammer and just tap it flat. I over pulled it a little bit, so we'll just tap that a little bit, and we're about ready to put some body filler down. I'm just using the hammer to pull down a little bit while I tap on some of these high spots. Much better. Like that a lot better. We're going to fill all the way over to here. So I'm going to grab my little 3-inch roll-lock, and I'll clean this area up really nice. And then when we fill, it'll come from here all the way up around to here. So it looks good all the way up underneath rocker. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, here's my seam where I had to replace this whole piece. It went over, down, across into the exterior sheet metal right here, and then back all the way over to here, and then the seam came across and went back to the native steel. So we really don't have much to fill over here. We're going to grind this back a little bit. This hole, drain hole, it's boogered up pretty bad right here. It looks like they bottomed out or something. So we're going to try to pull this back flat. Not that you'll ever see it, but it needs to be pulled back flat. Then we're going to wire wheel in here and get all this crap out of some of these pits and everything. And then just clean this back up a little bit and get a little bit of filler back inside here. It's going to basically go from here, you know, back underneath here a little bit just to clean that up. So let's see if we can get that hole straightened out. It's the little things that matter. Now it looks a lot better. Let's see if I got a little bit of a spot back inside there. This hook comes down and it's down a little bit, so it allows you to, you know, kind of pull back. Let's grab the hammer. Chunk of something floating around in there. This is the kind of crap that'll come blowing out when you're painting. So I pressure washed this thing and knocked it around and cleaned it, blew it out, and this stuff is still falling out. And that's where most of the debris is going to come from on your paint job, is from the car itself, not from bugs or dirt floating through the air. There we go. Got a lot of it. Let's tap on that. Another one. We'll blow this out real good later. But it just goes to show you, stuff just keeps falling out, especially when you start hammering and bending on them. All right, I can't get that flat right there. I'm gonna have to get a pair of pliers and see if I can grab that and bend that down. Okay, now we can get to cleaning it up. Okay, that looks pretty good. So this really doesn't need a lot of, I'm going to skim coat this anyways, just to try to sweeten this up a little bit. So we're going to start filling about here really lightly, and I'll scuff this paint up over here because we're going to go over it a little bit, and we're going to just come down and just get this nice and smooth right here, just right in this little area. All right, I'm going to scuff all this by hand off camera, and then we'll get ready to mix up some body filler. Okay, this is the driver's side. Idiot me, I just filled the other side, but I forgot to start the camera. So we're going to make a nice physical contact. Make sure this body filler is really pushed into the pores of the steel, scratches, everything, and then we'll clean it up. Making a mess here. a little bit of a rush since I screwed up over there. It's cool in the shop this morning. It's only 60 degrees in the shop, so I got plenty of time with this body filler. And that looks pretty good. Smooth this out here a little bit. Mixed way too much material up. It's kind of hard to do and dodge the camera at the same time. There we go. Just like that. Before this stuff sets up, I'm going to peel this tape away. Just like that. All right, so that's it. We're gonna let that set up, cheese grate it lightly, and then start sanding. Okay, I got a little impatient, so I grabbed the heat gun and heated both sides up to get the body filler to set up. We're just gonna hit this super light anyways, just to knock some of these really big high spots off. So I'm lazy and I don't want to sand that much. I did a nice job on here on getting the body filler smoothed out nice. Get some of this off here. Just sculpting right now. That looks pretty good. All right, I'm gonna jump over to the other side real quick, knock it out, and then we're gonna be back over here sanding. Okay, I got medium-sized longboard here with some 40 grit on it, I think. And we're just gonna shape this around the corner here. All right, I'm going to stop right there with the 36. We'll switch over to 80 and do a little bit more. Lens is getting dirty. Feels pretty good. I got a little low spot right there. I don't want to keep chasing it to get it out, because then all I'll do is put a kind of a roll in here, just a low spot, a big low spot instead of just a little one. But I'll take that out with the glazing. We've got some work to do up higher here where some of this heavy pitted rust is. And then we've got some more rust up above that's going to need some sandblasting and a different type of filler to fill it. So I'm probably going to stop right there. I'm going to work underneath here a little bit more. Kind of difficult to do laying on your back. All right, that was easy, just like that. It's not real easy when they're narrow and you're high on each side and low in the middle, like this was. As when I welded it, it pulled down, and then I used a slide hammer to pull it back out, but I couldn't get it all the way out. So we have a thin coat of body filler right there. That little low spot kind of ticking me off because I had so much body filler mixed up. Could have easily got that in one shot. Okay, that's about it for here. We'll get that later. That's just it's almost just texture. It's not even low. when we take care of this other stuff. Let's move the other side and get that one sanded and see how it comes out. All right, let's hit it with some 36 or 40. This was awkward laying on a creeper doing this. You guys can't see this, but this is where the seam was, so I've got a little fill there, and it stops right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lip and I'm going to transition it into a flat right here. There we go. That's really nice. We'll sweeten that up with the 80 grit. Just got to get a little more up here. All right, let's switch over to 80. All right, you can see my grind line there, feathers out a little bit there. We got this little bit of material right here. I'm going to sand. I'm going to switch over to some 120, I believe. I think would be best. So I can recreate that. It was so dinged up right there. They say I'm doing 120 and then I keep doing it with 80. I'm going to grab that 120. Okay, I just got a little block with some peel and stick 120. Just using on the firewall. Allow me to lay it on the angle of this, excuse me, the angle of this lip here, and try to just come around the corner with it and let it guide me. And then we'll just slowly roll it over. As we go around the corner, I'll lay it down a little bit more every time. Feels pretty good right there. Whoop. All right, that feels pretty good. We've got some pretty heavy, I don't know what these are, gouges or whatever that they've been painted over before. Now the fender comes up here and it kind of sticks over. There's some welting in here. So we've got to clean all this up, and then farther up on both sides there's some heavy pitting that's going to take some different kind of work, but this looks pretty good right here. So we're going to stop right here until we get some of this other work done, and then I can probably get some of this primed and sweetened up. But it looks good. It's got to clean this hole up a little bit. It's got a little body filler. It's not the right shape, so I'm just going to get that cleaned up real easy, and this side's done. Okay, we got this one all done. It's we got the hole cleaned up. This is all feathered out real nice, and it comes around. As you recall, it was low in the center, so this is fairly easy fill from side to side all the way around, and then sand it. So it's pretty good. Like I said, we're not going to do any more finish work on here till we get a little bit more work done above, and then we can get these whole little pillar areas straightened out all at once with some glazing, some other different types of body filler. After some sandblasting is done. So this is done for now. Okay, that just about wraps up this little short video on getting these two patch panel areas filled. Came out really well. The one on the driver's side's got a little more filler than I would like, but it was such a small area. Welding that slide hammer on there and pulling, it's really hard. There's really hard to get that pulled out as far as I'd like, and there's no way to access it from the other side. So got a little bit more filler than I would like, but you know, it's sound. Structurally, there's no big hole anymore. We took out a large piece of rust when we did the patch panel, and now we got it filled nice and smooth. So I think it looks great. Thanks for joining me here at Foothill Paint Fabrication. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. And if you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. We'll see you on the next one.